Hi there, welcome to Thought Flow Glow Oracle, where I interpret the cards to provide insight into your life. If you're new, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me today. Alrighty, let's get into these cards. We have the Hermit, the Five of Swords, Queen of Wands, and the Page of Cups. So, what am I getting from these cards today? I feel like I'm speaking to someone who is learning to enjoy their own peace, like their own selves, their solitude. I feel like I'm speaking to someone who doesn't mind being by themselves. Like, you don't get bored of your own energy. You don't get restless when there's no one around. Maybe you don't even need TV, or you don't need your phone. You don't need like any sort of stimulation. Like, your own energy stimulates you. And that's powerful. That is someone who cannot be moved by outside force. With this Queen of Wands card here, you're someone who, you're very creative. I also feel like I'm speaking to someone who's very spiritual. You're very attuned to your own needs, your own wants, your own desires. But also with this Page of Cups card here, you're also attuned to others as well. So you have this unique combination. You have this unique set of skills where you're learning to have this inward gaze. You're learning to be able to focus on yourself and really enjoy your own company, but you don't do it in a way that comes across as selfish. Like, it's weird because you're able to be selfish, but you don't come across that way. You're learning how to take care of your own needs. You're learning how to take care of yourself, but in a way that is perceived as kindness still, and not even self-kind, not even like self-love, but somehow you still come across as someone who people want to be around. You're able to love yourself and still attract other people. Like, it's not the self-love that comes across as conceit or arrogance or cockiness or anything like that. So you're a very special breed, and it's very rare. I feel like I'm speaking to an empath, someone who has always been sensitive to how others feel about them. But in this phase of your life, you're learning to not care about what other people will think of you. You're focused more on what you think about yourself. And again, like I said, it's very unique and rare and magnetic because somehow you're focusing on yourself, but still people are drawn in towards you. They want to be around you. You're learning to no longer abandon yourself. You've learned, or you are learning, that you don't have to be accommodating to be kind. You don't have to be open to others when you don't want to be. You don't have to be available. You're learning to be open and available to those who have earned that access, to those who have earned that access, to those who have earned your trust. Maybe in the past you were just open to strangers, people who you just met. Um, Maybe in dating you were very open about your whole entire life to someone you've only known for a few weeks or so. But now you're more, what's that word? You're just more protective of your heart space and your own inner peace. Like, you're understanding how sacred your energy is, and you're learning to protect that. But you're not protecting it in a hard way, which I see in this Page of Cups here. You're still a very compassionate, understanding, patient, big-hearted person. But now it's just you're learning to draw that energy towards yourself. It's like you're not even splitting the energy. You know what's coming to mind? I heard someone say, this is random, but the more you move, the more you'll be able to move. Like the more you work out, the more you'll be able to work out. And in your case, with this energy here, it's like the more loving you are, the more love you'll be able to give. And so, what I mean is that you're learning to love yourself so much, but you're also still able to love others. And it's so magnetic. It's so special. It's so unique. It's so rare. And people are scratching their head. People are scratching their head about you because they don't understand, because it's so rare. Usually people are either overgiving or they're so selfish and arrogant and they only care about themselves. But somehow you found a way to do both, to love yourself and to love others, to not abandon yourself while also being kind to people. And I think it's because you've decided to connect to your inner life, your inner light, your inner self. You've gone inward. You've done the work on yourself. You've done the shadow work on yourself. You've integrated everything that you've needed to integrate. You are both masculine energy and feminine energy at the same time. You're a whole person. And I'm getting that others are following your lead. With this Five of Swords card here, it's telling me that in the past you were overgiving. You didn't understand why people were so cruel. You didn't understand why people couldn't love you in the way that you were able to love them. And it was exhausting. It was heartbreaking. You've experienced so much heartbreak, I feel. And again, take this as it resonates. If it feels like it's your story, great. But if it doesn't feel like it's you, you can disregard that portion of the reading. Totally fine. But I feel like I'm speaking to someone who in the past you were scratching your head because you didn't understand. You didn't understand why you were so misunderstood until you started to focus on yourself instead of focusing on what others were thinking or how others perceived you or how others were treating you. You sort of stepped back from that energy. You didn't completely suppress it. There's nothing that you're suppressing here. You just stepped back. You became the observer. You became the observer of others and also yourself. And it's so special because you're learning how to enjoy your own time with yourself. You're learning how to laugh at yourself. Laugh at your own thoughts. You're learning how to have fun with yourself, how to do things by yourself. Maybe you're someone who you go to the movies by yourself, or maybe you go out to eat by yourself to restaurants. Maybe you go out to bars or clubs by yourself. Maybe you go out to museums by yourself or different events by yourself because you're no longer afraid. You're not afraid of what other people think because you love them and you love yourself. You love yourself too much and you love them too much to have these negative thoughts. It's like these negative thoughts are being removed from your body, like how this person, there's something being lifted up. There's negative energy that's being lifted out of you. I'm also hearing innocence as well. I'm also hearing that you're no longer naive, but you're still innocent. You're a very intelligent person. You can read people very well. And that has always worked for you. I think in the past, maybe it worked too much. Maybe in the past, you were reading others, but in a way that was hurtful towards yourself. Like maybe you would tell yourself, yeah, that person doesn't like me because of how their body language was. Like maybe you were able to see that. Or you would say, I can't really think of anything specific, but by you reading so deeply into people, it was hurting you because the thoughts were negative. But now the thoughts are more positive and loving. Like if someone's arms are crossed, instead of thinking they don't want to be around me, they're feeling uncomfortable because I'm making them uncomfortable, you're now thinking this person feels uncomfortable for whatever reason. It doesn't have to be about me. Like you're learning to have compassionate thoughts towards yourself. And it's being reflected on the outside because now people are I'm seeing people being more drawn to you, like energetically, like they're pulled towards you and they don't really understand why. So you may start seeing a different reaction from others towards you. I'm also getting that maybe you'll start getting invited to places more. But now, like I think before, you may have felt obligated to say yes to things that you didn't want to say yes to. But now you're able to turn things down, but still know that you're a good person. You're able to turn things down, turn these invites down without feeling guilty about it. That's because you've connected to yourself. You no longer need validation from others. You no longer need reassurance from others. Like, you know who you are. You know your worth. You know your value. You're no longer scratching your head about why you were so misunderstood in the past. Like, how people perceive you now is not important. You couldn't care less. All that matters right now is your own peace, your own joy, what lights you up, what's within that fills you up, that feels fulfilling. I'm also getting that you have a lot of talents and gifts and skills. And it feels like you're starting to, or you may be connecting with your purpose in life. And that's way more fulfilling for you than, like, it's, if you have a talent or a skill, for example, you'd rather practice improving that skill than to, like, get invited to some place. Like, maybe in the past you were worried about how you looked or what parties you were getting invited to or what you were not getting invited to. But now it's like, I know my value, I know my worth, and I actually prefer my own company. You prefer your own company. So you're no longer worried about what people are going to think if you say no to something. You're allowing yourself to say no because you no longer need approval from others. And again, you're not doing this from a place of having a closed, cold heart. You're doing this from a place of love and self-care. So it's not coming across as aloofness. It's not coming across as coldness. It's coming across as someone who people want to be around. So it's kind of ironic when you think about it. It's like people want to be around you a lot more, but it's like you don't need anyone else's company. Yeah, every once in a while you will, of course, to, stay social, but you're learning that you don't need it as much as you thought you did. And it's making you so powerful. So powerful. In a way that leaves people scratching their head. They don't understand it because they don't have that in themselves. You have this power. They don't have it, so they don't understand. It's like you may still be misunderstood, but in a completely different way this time. And all that really matters is your happiness, your confidence in yourself, feeling good, feeling emotionally fulfilled, happy, joyful, no longer worried or concerned about the external, what people think, or how people are comparing you. Like, it doesn't matter anymore. What else am I getting? I kind of feel called to pull more cards. Let's get maybe one more card. Three of Pentacles. With the Three of Pentacles, it's confirming that people want to connect with you a lot more. But you're leaning back. You're no longer leaning forward and bending over backwards for people. You're no longer accommodating others at the expense of your own um, you're no longer abandoning yourself to make sure that others are comfortable. And as a result, people are drawn to you. People want to work with you. People want to be a part of what you are offering. People want to be a part of your life. I'm also seeing that you're building something very significant. Like you're working on something by you allowing yourself to be in your own company, by you allowing yourself to keep to yourself and to focus on your gifts and your talents and your skills and your crafts and your creative energy. You're creating something that will be very significant. So this could be something that will lead to an increase in your finances, or maybe a new invention that others will find very popular. There's something about you being able to stay focused because you no longer have that external distraction. With your inward gaze towards yourself, I see you building something very significant. You're going to build something or create something that you're going to be very, very proud of. That's what I'm seeing. So, also, this could be, it doesn't have to be something actually physical. It could be your character. Maybe you're working on your character, or you're just working on yourself in general. You're creating a person that you can be very, very proud of. So I think that's going to be the end of this reading. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. If so, and if you felt like this was your story, you can hit the like button, comment down below if you feel called to do so. Let me know if you resonated with this, if you felt like this was your story. I'd love to hear from you. And hopefully I'll see you again next time. So until then, take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.